If you've been trying to manifest and it hasn't been working, this video is for you because I'm going to be teaching you the method that I personally use and that has worked for me multiple times with multiple things on it. So using this method is going to allow you to manifest things that you can actually perceive, that you can actually believe in. But not only that, but the things that you just want to try. I don't know, things that you can envision that might not be in your life right now, but you want in your life in the future. These are things that you're going to be using with this method to see what happens, to see if it comes to fruition. Now, obviously, it will come to fruition because that's the type of mindset that you have to be in when going into this, of course. So, with that being said, I'm not going to hold up too much of your time. The method that you need to use and the method that I've been using for the past, I don't know, 7+ years is writing it down. Now, it may seem so simple as, like, you know, something that's so cliche or whatever, something that you might hear a lot when they say just, oh, write it down or whatever and envision, feel, blah, blah, blah. But no, really, this stuff really works. And you don't even necessarily, I know that some people say you have to write it with your actual handwriting so it gets in your subconscious and all this stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, when you're reading your own handwriting, it is a lot different than reading it through like a text or your phone or anything like that. Now, it's going to affect your brain in a different type of way. So you could try that if you want to. However, I've managed to manifest things just straight through writing them in my phone. Now, that sounds even crazier to maybe some people. Now, you just think you can write anything, but no. I mean, seriously, the first time I manifested my first car, my first ever Apple laptop, and also the camera. And then there was also something on there that I wanted to manifest. It was like this USB thing. And I just ended up not even necessarily needing it or anything like that. So I feel like that's why that didn't manifest. Now, not only did those things come into my life within that same year, because I wrote these things down that I wanted at the beginning of the year around February. Not only did they come into my life within, let's say, about a year or so, I believe. I want to say it was about a year, maybe a little bit more over a year because of the car thing, but I believe it was only about a year. And not only did they come to fruition, they came to fruition at the prices. So you have to be a little bit more detailed when you're writing down these things, okay? So when I wrote down the car, I wrote down $2,000 because I knew that's how much I needed to be able to get the car, you know, as a down payment and just all the costs in general. I knew that was what I needed. So I wrote down $2,000 next to the car. Next thing, I wrote down the laptop. I wrote down $1,000 next to the laptop, okay? And then the camera, I wrote down next to that. I said I wanted a $500 camera. So throughout the year, I ended up obviously forgetting about that I wrote down this list, but I still really, you know, was wanting those things or just trying to put myself in a position to be able to get those things. Now, how do you put yourself in those position? Well, you kind of already have to believe that those things are yours, and you also have to believe that you can already see yourself having those things at those things. That's why the details help, because it helps you put those things into perspective. So if I knew that I needed a $500 camera, I'm not out here looking at $2,000 cameras or, you know, $1,000 cameras. I'm looking at what I particularly was putting out there. Does that make sense? So I knew I wanted a $500 camera. I knew anytime there was an opportunity for me to be around cameras or to see cameras, that was where I was looking at. That was what I was allowing into my life. Now, of course, you want to allow bigger and better things. However, that was what I most felt. That was what I most believed in for myself. So that's what is going to be a lot easier to bring into your life. Now, other things can come into your life, more of what you deserve or anything like that, if you allow yourself to be more open. However, if you're fixated on a certain thing or whatever, and you believe that that is what you deserve, then that is more than likely what's going to come into your life a lot easier, and what you're going to see more of. Because it's just like when you go and you get that car, or you just are out and you notice something, you start noticing all the other things. That's how your brain works. That's how you're able to project your reality, because it's looking for similar things. It's always looking for patterns, similar things to match up to give you your reality. What makes this true for you? All right, so that's how the universe, that's how your reality is always looking. So whenever you go and you see red cars, now you're going to start seeing all these red cars, because that's what you're projecting. That's what your reality is attracting to you, because that's what you are thinking about so much that that's all you're seeing. Because there's so much stimulus around us that our brain has to block out those things, right? So if that's what's important to you, if that's who you portray yourself to be, and that's what you're looking for, then that's what you're going to get, you know? So like they say, don't go looking for something or you might find it, right? Or be careful what you ask for, you might get it, because you can change your reality and bring those things into your reality, or bring those things. They were always there, because everything is happening at once. As that's how the universe works. Everything happens at once. We're just perceiving it at a slower pace. Whatever that slower pace is, we don't even know, because time is also an illusion and probably different for everybody. Who knows? Anyways, back to what I was saying. The laptop I ended up getting later on that year for right around that price range of $1,000. It was used, because it was like a used MacBook Pro, but it had like super crazy upgrades to make it worth like $3,000 at the time of purchase. So that laptop lasted me a lot of years. But besides that, I wrote down the price range that I wanted later on that year. Like I said, I completely forgot about that list, found the laptop, and it happened to be right in that price range. Now, I don't know what the chances of that are. Maybe, I don't know, but I know it was definitely either locked into my subconscious or whatever the case may be. All right, and then like I said, so I got the car, I got the camera. The camera was only a few months after. That was like in April. I ended up finding the camera, and then the car, all those things. So all those things came true. I also did this on another list as well. I had manifested a car and multiple other things that I would just get to that in that video, and explain more about how those things came into my life, because things can come into your life I don't want to say like out of your control, but because of other people, things can come into your life. So unexpected sources of money or unexpected sources of abundance can happen because of other people. They can just randomly give that to you. You don't have to necessarily be out here working your tail off to have gotten that fortune. Someone could have just randomly gave it to you, or you could have found it, or you could have just gotten lucky, won the lottery as a joke one day, played it, boom, won the lottery. Like, there's so many different ways that these things can come into your life, as long as that you can believe that those things are meant for you, that they align with you, and you're doing those things to line yourself with that. Kind of like how they say, be the person that would have already had those things now, because you can be that now, because that version actually does exist. If I was out here just acting mad silly all the time around people, then eventually people are just gonna say, yo, he's a silly person, like, he's always joking, he can never take anything seriously. That literally has changed my that was scary. That literally has changed my reality in those moments, because now I'm going out here and I'm acting like this. Now I've changed my reality. I've changed how people perceive me, and that's going to affect how they act towards me, and that's going to change my reality because of, do you see the pattern here? So that's how this thing kind of works. It's best if you can write it down, because it gets it kind of set in stone, gives you something for your subconscious to focus on, for you to be excited about, kind of like how vision boards and things like that work. That's how you're able to see yourself with those things. And also writing it down just gets it out of your head, thinking about it all the time, because you don't necessarily want to put anything on a pedestal or act like it's something that you can't reach because it's some type of crazy goal or something like that. So writing it down gets it out of your head, helps you to just forget it, let it go, and then see yourself eventually connect the pieces. You know, sometimes it takes longer than, you know, however, sometimes that thing's not meant for you, or maybe it is already in your life, or it comes in a different form that you don't necessarily see. So that's all I can say for this video. It's getting kind of long. Like I said, I did have a second list of, I manifested different stuff on there. If you want to know I did that, maybe I'll make a second video to this explaining how those things came into my life, because maybe it'll help you understand how things that you want to manifest in your life come in, but just in different forms. Maybe it's not the form that you necessarily thought, and maybe that doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Maybe the way that you wanted it necessarily wasn't the best way. All right, so hope you guys appreciated this. Go out there and start manifesting the things that you desire, because hey, I guess you deserve it, right? All right, so catch you in the next video.